they don't talk to the business people.
The
business people don't like, all kind of different class. They all kind of different group. And in the Chinese New Year, they have all kind of different, like one day, but have 5 Chinese show. But the community is just like this. If you can go here, you can go there, right?
Okay.
That's not good because we know that together.
Yes.
观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎您来到海外书场。今天我们做客的嘉宾是 Jimmy Morris。我们今天呢想谈的这个话题呢是究于美国最近发生的黑人运动。我们就这个话题呢来看一下，就是他是怎么想的，以及他的这个成长过程中所遇到的问题，以及为什么是 Black Lives Matter。The
protest was okay. They had good reason to protest the killing of George Floyd. But here's what happens. When you get gatherings like this, you have other people who have a special agenda. Their agenda is to come in and to make trouble. So there were people there doing the right thing, protesting, but you have other people who want to make problems for everyone.
Make this look worse, much worse, right?
Yes. Because again, as I say, there's certain people have an agenda. Their agenda is to create chaos. We must remember this. Whenever government and rules want to be changed, the first things that happen is you create chaos. And when you create chaos, both sides of the issue for people, they have no faith in government because of chaos. And when the chaos happens, then they can come in and start a new power structure. So that's how chaos is used.
Well, what do you know about this?
Well, here's the situation. We have Democratic and we have Republican.
Yeah.
And that is considered, you like to say, right wing and left wing.
Right, 2 wing.
But you have to remember, that's one bird.
Yes.
He has a left wing and he has a right wing, but it's one bird and he flies all the time one direction. With that being said, that's the problem because nothing is getting done now.
Yeah.
Because the right side won't agree with the left side won't agree with the right side.
It's really broken right now,
It's broken.
Nobody talks to nobody.
But here's the problem. The country is suffering.
Right.
The country, there's nothing being done for the country. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. The current situation does not work for the country. We're not a United States of America. We're a divided States of America. And that's not good for America.
Okay, thank you. Other things that people concerned say, find the place. Some place might really bad. It's some very
small.
Very small.
Very small amount.
But when people say this, and most of the placement is really good, and they're proud of the job.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe that is a very dangerous job, and also
yes, it is.
Maybe that's the last day of the job. You know, when they defend the place, and what the people, that's people probably not feel good about. What do you think about that?
So what defunding the police means is certain resources that are going to police that aren't working, have that money allocated to other social services, like people have mental problems.
Okay, yeah.
We don't always need to send out a police officer. Let me say this first. Being a police is a very dangerous job.
Yes.
I have friends who are police.
Yeah.
I lived with a police officer for 5 years. The difference is it's just a job, right?
Yeah.
Well, with them, it's not just a job, because I could work at a bakery.
Yes.
Go in at 5 o'clock in the morning, bake all day long, make bread, get off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I go home. No problems. I'm in the factory, I'm making bread.
Yeah.
But if I'm a police officer, I'm out on the street and people got guns and knives and all of these things, I may not come home tonight.
Right.
So it's a very dangerous job.
Yes. Yeah.
But with that being said, police are not trained to be psychiatrists. Police are not trained to be psychiatrists. Police are not trained to be doctors. Police are not trained to be lawyers. A lot of people think police officers know the law. They do not know the law. They enforce the law. They do not know the law. They know things dealing with their job and the legalities of their job. But as far as knowing the law, police officers do not know the law. There's been a number of new mandates made in the last 3 to 5 years. Before, you could be a police officer and all you had to do was go to the police academy. Now it's required that you go to college to be a police officer.
Oh, really? I'm a very angry, very easy angry policeman. But if you send to somebody like maybe
Talk to people.
can talk to people, maybe like what do we call therapy,
Or
for example, those kind of
psychologists,
psychologists
therapists.
people,
Yeah.
and know how to talk to those people, peaceful, calm down,
Yes,
and don't have to use guns.
that's what you're
To-
talking about is called de-escalation. Most of the time when police come, it's a heated situation, tempers are flaring, people are mad, and the police come there, they're already mad. The people are disrespecting them by talking to them a certain way.
Because they are already really.
They're
yes.
already hyped up.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the police officer's attitude is to stop disputes.
Yeah.
But when this happens, though,
Yes, yes.
they're not in a way to where they can disengage.
Uh-huh.
So what we need to do is to have someone to de-escalate. De-escalate means when someone has a high temper, you find a way to bring their temper down.
Absolutely. Like if you have headache and you don't need to cut hair, people come here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You need a professional
Yeah,
that
yeah,
can deal
like
with
a-
the situation. And this has been going on. Black Lives Matter is a new organization. It hasn't been around that long. But simply all what they're talking about is just like the de-escalation, just like defunding, we want to share in the power. Because historically, black people came out of slavery in America.
Yes.
So they have no power. They've had no power. Now has come to the time where we're saying no more. We need power.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to
Right,
give us
yeah.
power, we need for you to change the things because we have no power.
Even my English is really bad. I know means black people lives important. I mean important.
Yes.
But somehow in China they in Chinese community they say 黑命贵.
黑命贵.
黑命贵 means black lives expensive.
So-
And make people confused. People say, "Oh,
Yeah.
black people's life is expensive. Whose life is cheap?"
You're right.
And the
right.
people that's not right. So I think some people change the word.
The
It's,
meaning.
they want something worse.
Yes.
So we say black people's life, black lives is important. Everybody's life is important.
Yes.
So why they say that? Because that is a Florida. What happened to?
Well, here
all the time.
is I can understand kind of what they're talking about. And here's the deal. Black people built America.
Yes.
We built this country and we're not paid for all the labor that we did.
Yeah.
Every other place around the world, whoever was enslaved, once they became free, they were given money because of all the labor that they did. For instance, in Germany, when the Jews were killed in the concentration camps, the German people made so much money off of the people who were enslaved, the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Those people were given reparations after the war was over with.
Yeah,
everything
after that, yeah.
everything that they lost, they were given back.
Uh-huh.
That's never been done for America.
Yeah,
So
America, yeah.
when Chinese people say black lives are expensive, it's because all the riches that white people gained from slavery, they don't want to share the wealth
want to
now.
share, right.
They don't want to spend any on this. But how did you get this?
I
See,
know.
so how did you got this from the free labor and slavery. So now you don't want to share what you got free? I have a lot of friends and they say, Jimmy, well, that wasn't me. That was my grandfather. That was my great-great-grandfather, my ancestor. I said, I know that, but you benefited from it. You were able to benefit
Right,
from it.
right.
So if you're willing to say that what they did was wrong, you also should be willing to give something back to make things right.
That has happened in California now. California law, if you have the paperwork, so your grandfather,
Yes.
slaves
Yes.
come to this country, and the paper, but a lot of people lose the paperwork. Probably.
Yeah, it's very hard to
That's
track
very
those
hard.
things.
But some people do. I think
some people do.
I think you do.
Yeah, yes.
You do. But I think that's your grandma. You're the Indian, American Indian.
Yes,
American Indian.
My background is Native American and African American.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they did it for American Indian actually.
Same thing.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because
they should do.
Black Americans or Africans came from Africa, brought here, but the Indians were already here. I want to share something with your viewers right quick, because Thanksgiving is coming up. But do you know that why Thanksgiving was celebrated? It was a tragedy. What happened was they found a white man, my date may be wrong, I think it was 1860 or 1870 or something. They found a dead white man, and when they found him in a boat, he was dead. And when they found out he was dead, they thought the Native Americans had killed him. They went and killed 400 men, women, and children. So those are some of the atrocities that are happening.
Sad.
When these holidays and all of these things, you have to look behind the background of what these things really mean.
Yes.
And then when you do that, you have a clear understanding. So many people don't have a clear understanding. They hear these names and these words and they just let them go as what they sound to be. But you need to look into the background of all these things being said.
Yeah. Not only see what happened, no, you have to see what behind it, because if you don't fix the root, you always have the problem.
Remember I told you I've been martial arts all my life, and one of the first things I learned was when you make a mistake, you correct your mistake.
Yeah.
If you don't correct your mistake, now you got two mistakes.
Yeah, kind of like people have something on
Like a
the
wound.
skin, the wound.
Like a
no,
wound,
no, it's
and
open everywhere. But
it-
it's not happen every day. Not happen in 4 years. This happened in the whole history, right?
Yes, this has been an ongoing
For
ongoing event or ongoing attitude. You're right. This president did not create this. These things have been here for a long time. They've been here for 400 years.
Right.
Well, actually, we've been in this has been a country about 295 years.
Okay.
But yet and still, all of these underlying conditions have existed for a long time, and nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to, like, when you clean the house up and you're in a hurry and you can't find something to clean it up, and you sweep it under the rug.
Right.
So
Right.
this has been swept under the rug.
One of my friend, he's very thin. He's a very smart professor. He's from India. He's a vegetarian. He go to Walmart one time. People think he's a thief. So people take him, go to the room and say, what do you take?
Oh my goodness.
That happened to my friend. At that time he's like around 55.
Okay.
He's a professor. It's a great person.
Yes.
And for me, I come to this country first time. I think now we live in Minneapolis and everybody pretty open. I don't see people look at me differently.
Okay.
But when I live in Fargo, one time I go my mother-in-law's home, and when she go to travel, so I take her house, right, and go clean her house. One time I and my baby go to her house, started cleaning her house. Her neighbor already not like my mother-in-law anyway, so probably she already know who I am, but she still want to make this is the worst.
Okay.
So she called the 911, said
What?
one Chinese lady go to somebody's house.
Oh, wow.
And I tell the policeman, this is my mother-in-law's house, and come here. Oh, the policeman said, I'm sorry. So the neighbor called, I have to go here, That is what I feel. But in that time, I speak really bad English. I don't complain that, but it's a push me learn English good, become better person. When you go through, when you in that time, you just feel unfair. But when you go through that, it's think funny.
Yeah.
I think that's funny.
Well, you can. That's a struggle, a small struggle, but you see how things can react and how things can happen. I can think about some of my earliest experiences growing up, and so there's a word that's used, the N-word. So, and I think I was about 8 years old when I first heard that word, right? So I'm walking down the street, kid, 8 years old, coming from school. I'm walking down the street and a car passes by and someone yells out, "Hey, nigger!" And I'm looking, I look around.
You're 8 years little boy, they call you nigger.
Yeah, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what's a nigger? Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
who are they talking to? What are they talking about? Because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, you
So
go home, ask
so I
your
go
mom.
home and I ask my mom. I said, "Mom, I was walking down the street and somebody yelled out nigger," and I says, "What's the nigger, Ma?" And she says, "Honey, a nigger is an ignorant person, someone that hasn't taken the time to learn something." So, but later I learned in life that word was used because when other people feel down or when they feel depressed, a lot of times people want to make other people depressed.
What a great mom you have.
Yeah. Yes. It's a great woman. Great woman.
Great.
Yeah. So a lot of times that's why people say those things, because they're feeling bad about themselves, but in order to make them feel good, they want to make someone else feel bad so they can feel superior. So anytime that you're not comfortable with yourself, that's the problem.
I totally understand what you feel. I don't deal that kind of problem. I deal other problem because my family, my mother and my father, when they married, they from like two government. One government fall down and just nothing. You like nothing. You like a dirt.
Okay.
And my father married my mother kind of like they use like a one bag's apple to find
To make the marriage complete.
right.
Yes.
I give you a bag of
Bag
apple. You
apples.
give me your daughter.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Later on, her mind going crazy,
Okay.
and I and my brother in my little town, people laugh at us. So your mother is crazy, in school, all the
Yeah,
kids and
kids are
just,
very.
yeah. Like I grew up in that area, and I don't feel that's the home, and I want to far away from my home.
Okay.
And even though I struggle that I don't feel any love and that, so
Okay.
it's really difficult to fix
Okay.
that problem.
Go like that. Oh, all right. You did it.
Down today.
Uh-huh.
Down today.
All right. You're doing real good.